Hello and welcome to Farmer's Kitchen. Hello, Mrs. Farmer. You look ravishing as usual.
Mr. Farmer, you look very handsome tonight.
Oh my goodness, what a compliment.
I like your shirt.
Well, thank you very much. I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
You want to cook?
Yeah.
You know what? We've been traveling. So we went out west. And you know, whenever we go out somewhere and try new food or see somebody cooking new stuff, we always bring ideas home. Not exactly the same ideas, but it's nice to have a change of scenery sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we went to the Northeast and we saw many ways to prepare lobster.
Yes, we did.
How many lobster meals did we have?
Every day.
And it wasn't terribly expensive.
No, it wasn't.
We went to Alaska and we started thinking about salmon.
Oh, yeah.
We went to Hawaii and we had a ground pork recipe.
That was so good.
With, I think it was zucchini. Oh, they were just absolutely delicious.
It was.
Well, we went out west and I did some fishing. Now we're going to do a trout recipe very shortly.
You had fun
But here's a
fishing.
couple pictures out west. So we got some ideas. Now these are not exact,
Right.
but we're going to do some pasta tonight. What's it take to make pasta in your own kitchen?
Not much.
You don't need one of these. I mean, if you're cutting spaghetti or you're cutting linguine and you want to run it through the cutter, you can do that. It's also nice to have this because you can press it out to the thickness you desire to make a pasta.
That's nice.
That is nice. Now we're going to cross some cultures tonight. We're going to take a little bit of Asian, Italian, French, and roll this all up together and have something
Make it
wonderful.
yum.
And then you just lost all control. Now everybody knows in my family that I cannot stay away from Oreos.
I know.
Grandma comes down and she brings me a pack of Oreos.
Yeah, she
And
does.
I can eat a sleeve in like 15 minutes.
You can eat the whole pack in like an hour.
That's true.
I know, it's bad.
So you're going to get just downright decadent tonight and make
It's the best dessert in the world.
best dessert in the world.
It really is.
We'll tell you what that is, but it does involve
Some
Oreos
cookies, your favorite cookies.
and deep fried.
Yes.
So we're going to be bad tonight, but we got some good stuff coming up. Do you have to start yours first, actually?
I do, because we want to put this in the fridge so after we're done with dinner, we want it chilled before we deep fry it. And this is so simple. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
And it's Oreo cookies, which is
Shame on you.
your favorite cookie. And I just got me some biscuits, the cheap little biscuit. Because when I was a little girl, Mom used to always, she made these into donuts for us. Did your mom do that? Yes.
So what are you going to do here?
So easy. We have 3 ingredients: Oreo cookies, biscuits, and Rice Krispies. That's it. So what I'm going to do is kind of just fan this out.
This is wrong.
These are so
This is
good.
like stuff you get at the fair, you know,
Yeah.
when you say deep fried pizza and deep fried this, deep fried that. Well, we've had deep fried Oreos at the fair.
Yes.
Because
It's delicious.
it was there.
Well, just think about how these rise up when you fry them. So we got that. We have Oreo cookie. And we're going to just roll it. I'm going to put it in this Rice Krispie. And that's it. So then we're just going to we're going to make all these, set them aside. I'm going to put those in the fridge. And we'll have dessert later.
Now here's the interesting thing. When you wrap these up like this and you make this little cookie, we just saw this out west, here's what happens. The Oreo inside is not hard anymore. It becomes this nice, doughy, wonderful thing. It's like dough inside the dough. Oh, it's just fantastic.
And you got to have a little ice cream with it.
You can have a lot of ice cream with it.
Yeah.
When you're done, you can put a little powdered sugar on
That's
it.
what we're going to do. Powdered sugar.
This is just absolutely decadent, but it's wonderful. And we wouldn't do this every day, but we're going to do it today. And maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Because these can sit in the fridge for a couple days. You just pull them out as you need to fry them, right?
So at this point, you're just going to chill these for a little while.
Yes, until we're ready for dessert, and they're going to be so good. I figured 3 for you, 3 for me, and we'll give 2 to Kelly.
You know what? This right here reminds me of something we did not long ago. Now, most people have had fried ice cream.
Right.
But you know, when we run some of these things and we put them out there for people to see, some people were shocked that you could fry ice cream.
Yeah, I was shocked. I liked it.
You'd never had that before,
No,
had
I
you?
had
That was a
not. I
treat as a
loved
kid.
it.
So yes, that's something you can look up on our YouTube channel. There's so many recipes out there. This one will be on there shortly. What are you going to call this?
What should we call
Deep
that?
fried Oreo.
You got
Decadent deep fried Oreo delight.
I'll never remember that, but I like it. I love it. I'm going to put these in the fridge.
All right then. So, you know what happens when you start cooking and you start figuring out what goes with what, and it challenges you to want to try to go to the next level.
Right.
So you think, okay, that sage was really good in this recipe. Wonder, ooh, if I tried this chicken over here with that, and you start thinking differently. Let's talk about spice rack. Some people think about this as a spice rack. Our spice rack, one of them, I guess we should just call it an urban spice rack.
Yeah, I love that.
Outside, we go out there and we pick our sage, and tonight we picked some basil and some rosemary and oregano. Now sage is going to play a big part tonight. Sage, I think, is underutilized sometimes. Now sage itself, if you smell it by itself, it's kind of got a different smell than how it comes out if you saute it in something per se. But remember, challenge yourself. Try some new food. Try some grub you've never tried before. How's that? Wasn't that tricky?
That was really good. How'd you do that? I wish I could do that.
Magic.
That was magic.
Kelly made it happen. But anyway, here we go. Here's our bowl. A cup and a half of flour.
Simple recipe.
2 eggs and a little bit of water. What does this make? Let's review that. I want you to remember this. 2 eggs, cup and a half of all-purpose flour, water. What does this make, Mrs. Farmer?
Makes the best pasta ever.
Homemade pasta. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I'm going to crack these in, Nikki.
I'm impressed. Look at you. Look at you.
I tell you what. And then, if you'll mix that in.
I will.
This is as good as any pasta you'll ever have. Now, as we go along, you might want to add a little bit of water. Not much. I've just got a couple tablespoons here. Just a little bit of water. As we go along. You don't want it too wet. Now I've got this little pasta machine over here. I think, what was this, like 30 bucks, 25 bucks?
Yeah, it wasn't that much.
It's a wonderful little machine. It has different settings on the side here. The first setting, number 1, is the widest. So that's where I always start. I will put my dough through there, roll it out, and then I'll fold it back up, re-roll it. Now, as it goes along and you start crimping it up a little bit, getting a little tighter, it'll start to get some tears in it, so you might have to put a little more water or a little more flour as you go along to make things work just right.
That's actually going to be, I think it's going to be good. It's coming together here.
So again, 2 eggs, cup and a half of flour, a little bit of water, and you have the oldest, most dependable pasta recipes in the world. Go pretty light with the water. You don't need a whole lot of water. After she gets this kneaded out, you don't have to knead it a lot. Put it in the fridge for about a half an hour and you're ready to roll.
It's ready.
Basil pesto. You can buy it at the store, or you can go out and pick it.
This smells so good. My fingers smell good just from touching everything.
When you make your own basil pesto, and it's so simple, when you make your own, it is so fresh and those flavors just bounce out and just knock you right in between the eyes. It's just absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and put my basil leaves in here. We're gonna press our garlic in here so it's already kind of small. Let's do 5 cloves.
Okay.
These aren't huge cloves.
You want to squeeze it? No, you're a better squeezer.
All these flavors together, especially when they're so fresh, it makes all the difference in the world. We have fresh tomatoes, we got fresh mushrooms. So I'm not measuring here, but we're gonna take a goodly amount, small handful of basil, which we want mostly in here, then some oregano, and some rosemary. I don't want a whole lot of rosemary, just a little bit. Now look, looks like a little pine frond. So when you go against it, when you pull backwards, look how easy that comes off. So what other ingredients do you have in your basil pesto, Mrs. Farmer? Let's see, let me think.
What do you have?
We have basil, oregano, rosemary, garlic, and olive oil.
And that's it?
That's it. And then you just chop the fire out of it. And as we go along, we continue to add our olive oil. Oh, I wish you could smell this.
It smells so good.
Now some people will put pine nuts. Pine nuts, I'm a little bit allergic to pine nuts and walnuts, strange things. But we're gonna put a little bit of Parmesan cheese in here. You're thinking, what? But yes, absolutely. Let's get this going. Now I haven't measured any of this. Oh my. This is just one of those times I wish everybody could smell what we got going on here.
It smells really good.
Beautiful, wonderful basil pesto. You know, somebody said one time, I think we're doing a lobster recipe. They said, well, that's not country cooking. Yes, it is. There are people all over the world who are country cooking, who live next to the ocean.
Yeah.
That's just their local meat.
Right.
Wouldn't you like for that to be your local meat?
Yes, I would. I could eat lobster every day.
So we don't ever try to do anything fancy, but you know, in the outlying areas of Italy, we're going to go visit shortly. In Tuscany, all these folks that live in different areas, they have all these wonderful recipes. This is somebody's country cooking. All this stuff, fresh, farm to table. We get your stuff right out the back door. Remember, if you can do these things fresh, if you can grow your own herbs and spices, oh my gosh, you're way ahead of the game. Try some grub you've never tried before. All right, did we say that earlier? Try some grub you've never tried before. Okay. All right, so here we go. So we've got we got about half a pound of pork and half a pound of veal.
I love veal.
Now you can get veal just about anywhere. You have to ask for your butcher sometimes.
Yeah, and it's frozen. You can find it in the frozen section.
So what are we going to do here, Mrs. Farmer? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take and crack an egg in here. You want to do the goopy hand thing?
I will.
Okay, now what we've got here is we've got egg to kind of firm things up and bring it together. Now I'm going to start putting a little pesto in there, our homemade pesto.
Yummy.
Now again, I'm going across a whole lot of lines here. These are flavors that I have come to love over the years and found out that they go very well together. So we've got an Italian dish. I'm going to use a Chinese noodle cutter and press to make our pasta.
Yes.
We've got some Pernod, which is a French liqueur that has star anise in it, and it's just absolutely wonderful. I have ground some fresh Cherry pepper, which is about all we use now because it's just so wonderful. I'm gonna take some salt.
This smells so good.
Oh, I know. Don't eat it raw, Mrs.
I won't.
Now I'm gonna come back with my breadcrumbs. I'm gonna start to firm this up. What we're doing is making our stuffing for our pasta. And oh my, smell that, Mrs. Farmer.
Oh wow.
Isn't that a great addition?
That is.
The ingredients for the Pernod, we don't know exactly what's in it. But man, when you add the star anise, now even if you don't like that, it adds such a flavor to your basil. Oh man, that is almost intoxicating. Put a little more breadcrumbs in there. And you notice I'm not measuring this. You just want to get this consistency.
Do what you like.
So the garlic, remember, is in the basil pesto. So that's where we're going to get our garlic flavor. Let's go ahead and pile that in there. I'm going to take some dry seasoning too. Got a little bit of Italian seasonings here. And it's got just a little bit of, as you can see, a little bit of dry onion and some red pepper flakes in there. Now we will not use all of this tonight. In fact, we're going to use a tiny portion of this, but we have it all mixed together. So what do?
Freeze it.
Pop it in the freezer. So next time we want this dish, which will be pretty soon, thaw it out and we're good to go. So that, I just got to tell you.
That smells delish.
Remember when Sammy was...
I know, he's so cute. Smelling everything.
All right, so Mrs. Farmer, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to set this aside.
Okay.
Still those flavors are wafting.
Yes.
So we're going to take this, clean this up. When we come back, we'll have a skillet out. And we're going to get the dough out. We're going to get it ready. And then we're going to cook us up something good. All right, so I'm going to pull my little hunk off. So again, I've got this on the #1 setting, which is the thickest setting. I'll take that out and then I'll fold it up on itself and then I'll run it through again. So now I'm going to put it up on the #2 setting. See where we're at. Now see, that's a little thick, obviously. Okay, go ahead. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm gonna, now, this goes all the way up to really thin, but we are only gonna go to about #3 on this. So if you will. Okay, now look at this thickness. That's about what we want for that. So I've got this little cutter here. Basically, you just push it down really hard. This is a dumpling cutter. It just rolls up and makes little cuts here. Each one of these will be a wonderful little piece of pasta. I'm just rolling these out just a little bit bigger so they'll fit my little dumpling press here. You're essentially doing the same thing if you're making ravioli. And you don't have to have these machines to do this, but I like these little gadgets sometimes when you're cooking. It makes it fun. If you got the grandkids over, they would love to help you make dumplings.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy. All right, so what we're gonna do, I'll show you how we make one here. Put a little olive oil on our press. Spread that over to make sure it fills the edges out. Now, if you just had your dough and you just rolled it out with a roller and you cut strips and then squares, you can make ravioli and you just crimp the side. I'm using this just because
you have it. It's fun to play with.
Because I have it and I'm playing with it. Now, we don't need a whole huge amount of meat here. I'm talking about this size right here. So that goes inside your little dumpling. Crimp that down real good and tight. Pop it open, and what do you have?
Perfect.
Got yourself a little dumpling. You could use bacon, you could use pork belly, you could use whatever you want. And you could tell tonight that we didn't do a whole lot of measuring, so kind of make this like you want it. All right, we got our water boiling. I'm gonna pop our wonderful little pieces of pasta in here with their wonderful interior. We're gonna let those go for about 15 minutes. All right, I'm gonna get some mushrooms cut up here. I got some baby bellas. They're fresh. Everything's fresh. Oh, fresh, fresh, fresh. The bacon's about done, isn't it? So let's back up and think about what we've done. We got fresh mushrooms.
That's right.
We have fresh rosemary, basil, and oregano.
Homemade
mixed
pasta.
Up. Homemade pasta, and it smells fresh. It smells wonderful. And we got bacon.
Gotta have bacon.
Can't go wrong. And I think, Mrs. Farmer, let's go ahead and saute those up.
I'm cooking them in that grease, yum.
All right, now we're gonna come in with some butter because
Butter's delish.
so we have bacon and mushrooms
Butter.
and butter. And towards the end here, when these get all sauteed up and we switch them out, and we put our pasta over here, we're gonna drop this sage in with this butter. All right, now I've had this turned down. I'm gonna turn this back up. I'm gonna start putting my sage in there and let it start releasing its flavor. Oh, I wish you could smell what's going on in here. So in goes the sage.
That smells good. I can smell that, can you?
With the butter. And Mrs. Farmer, it's almost time.
Okay.
In fact, it is time.
Time?
If you want to start draining those,
I will. I have a little.
you want to be
thing here.
real careful with these guys because
I have a little bucket here to drain them in.
they're now in the last and final stage. Oh, it smells so good. We're just
Cool.
gonna brown these just a little bit and let them soak up that flavor. Okay, now that seemed like a lot of steps, but really there was nothing about this recipe that was terribly hard. And you've got restaurant grade food here.
Oh, it's so worth it. Oh, these are looking good.
Aren't they?
Getting all shiny and brown.
Just brown these up just a little bit. Then in the end, if you wanted to top these with just a little bit of fresh diced tomato, we got some Romas there from Kelly's garden. Put a couple capers on them if you'd like, just for the flavor, texture, salt.
Would you like me to cut some up?
Yeah, go ahead and dice them up there. Look, Mrs. Farmer.
Wow. Yum, Papa.
You want a bite?
I do. Can I take a bite?
Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna cut it in half because it's too big.
You know, and that's what I like. I like a big old piece of pasta with a big old hunk of meat in it. What do you think?
That is so good. I'll try a mushroom. That's delicious. I could eat 100 of those. Wow.
Last time We use store-bought Basil Pesto.
Yeah.
This time it's fresh.
That's so good. You outdid yourself again. I need to eat more.
Go ahead, Ms.
Can I eat more?
Eat one more bite.
Oh my goodness.
Then we'll get to dessert. On a scale from 1 to 1,000, what is it?
1,000,000. That's delicious. That is really good. I could eat that every night.
That is really good. But how could it not be? I mean, think about what went into this. A little bit of effort, but each step was fun.
Yeah, it was fun
We
cooking.
had fun cutting everything out, making the pasta. It's a rather involved dish, but you can do it.
It's fun to cook.
All right, so, as if our meal wasn't decadent enough.
That's right. Gotta have something sweet.
I have a problem. I really do.
I know you do.
If somebody brings Oreos around, I gotta admit it, I'll eat every one of them.
So this is going to be really bad. I just won't make them very
Let's
often.
just do it. Let's
All
just
right.
do it.
So now they kind of harden up. There we go. We're just going to do 2 of them. What do you think?
I remember we were at some sort of music event one time. First time we had deep fried Oreos.
Yeah. I got sick on them. I think I ate too many. See how they're kind of growing? They're turning into like a donut.
Oh yeah. And again, that cookie changes consistency.
Yes, it does.
Oh, those are about done, aren't they?
They go really fast. Are we only eating 2?
Let's do 3.
All right.
Or 4.
Okay.
I happen to have some ice cream here, Nikki,
All right.
that has Oreo flakes in it, because I do have a problem.
And I got you some powdered sugar there you need to throw on these too.
All right, I can do that.
See how fast they go too? They just kind of grow.
Are you kidding me?
Is this like the most amazing thing ever?
Just like that.
Let me drain it a little.
Before, after. Before, after.
All right.
Look at that.
Ah, I can't wait.
That's not right, Mrs.
No, it's
Farmer.
not. You
Go
ready?
ahead. Go
Wanna
ahead.
dig in? Want me to lift one up and eat it?
Yeah. You know what? Are they cool enough yet?
Yeah.
Now look what that looks like. Look what that looks like. Show them what that looks like.
Oh wow.
Look at that.
That is so good. That's not even right, is it? Oh wow.
That's ridiculous. What's a bite of ice cream to go with that?
We're being bad tonight, but it's worth it.
What do you think?
I think I could eat a bunch of those.
That was absolutely delicious. I think our meal was absolutely delicious.
Amazing.
That sage was really nice in there. Wasn't it?
It was. We ate it all. I ate every last noodle.
You know, if you like what you see tonight, I'll bet you there's a place you could go find more recipes. Where would that
There
be,
is.
Mrs. Farmer?
There is. TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com.
Check it out. Look at our YouTube page over there. Click subscribe and boom, anything new comes out, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Also, we have a Facebook page. We'd like to see you on there, but it's so difficult.
It really is.
What do you have to do, Ms. Farmer?
You hit like.
Hit like.
That's right.
Talk with us. We've met some of the nicest people through our Facebook
Yes.
page. We talk with them all the time.
Oh yeah. You'll be all right.
You know what? Sometimes
Yeah.
you got to cut loose. The problem with you is you want to cut loose all the time, and you find the excuse to do it.
That's right.
We're on vacation.
That's right.
We're at the lake.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. The sun's out.
That's right. That's a good reason.
But tonight, we haven't eaten that much today. We've been kind of good.
That's right.
You wouldn't want to do this every night. But
Yeah, we would.
tonight's the night. So, Ms. Farmer, half hour's up. Went real quick, so it's all about
Good times.
good friends.
Really good eats.
We'll see you next week on Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. Oh, look at that right there.
To order a cookbook, email timfarmerck@gmail.com.